What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. We're over here to discuss this latest episode of Ready to Love. It's season 10, episode 3. Y'all, like the video, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, hit the notification bell, and drop down in the comments see if you got something to say over here about this past episode. Where we at? We're over here in a comedy club. It's another mixer. Now everybody got to meet everybody. So Tommy has the singles over here, like I said, at a comedy club, and they're kind of spread around the room. They over there anticipating the new prospects for love. We got a few connections over here on side A and side B, but we want to see what happens when they mend together, create another side, side C, D, and possibly even E. Hopefully we won't be doing that. So Wayne is sitting up. Wayne with the bang. Wayne with the bang was sitting down with Deanna, who actually said she had a connection with him last time, first episode, but Deanna's not pressed. She has quite the roster, and Wayne is neither here nor there. Angie is pressed though, because Angie's over on the other side of the room screaming at this man, how come he didn't call her? I had such high hopes for Angie, but the thirst is very real over here with her. Now True is chiming in, asking the man questions. Why you ain't call Angie? Wayne, he said he was asleep the whole weekend. He said he was asleep, and he would prefer that they go find somebody else to press because he doesn't feel like it. And like I said, Deanna doesn't care. So, there's that. Tommy comes out doing what Tommy does, cracking those corny jokes and things that he does over at the Steve Harvey show. I think, Tommy, listen, the man's a comedian, a successful one at that. He's not my type of comedian, so that doesn't mean anything. He's just not for me. But I think this group of people might need somebody a little younger and in touch. Not to, yeah, that young and in touch and funny. Are they required to sit there and laugh at his corny jokes? Because I'm like, this isn't that funny. Y'all sitting there like, I guess it would be rude to not, laugh at Tommy's jokes. It's, he's the host, so be nice. So anyway, he parades the other half of the cast out on the stage like cattle. And they have to stand there and be looked at by the previous cast. I see chocolate. I see a couple few attractive things over there that meets my aesthetic, but dang. This is John Jay, by the way. His reaction is, oh man, Will is gone. Shoot, Sahara's still here. Over here came to cause trouble. Did she come to cause trouble? I don't know if that's what she's over here doing. She's doing something. I don't know that it's causing trouble, but we'll see. I will say this. Sahara did show up with her grown ass, with 2 pony pigtails on the sides, and pom-poms, and smoker's lips. It's kind of a red flag. I'll give him that. Carly and Eddie have a little, sit down conversation. I feel like they're attracted to each other. And it just kind of seems like she wasn't acting as dingy as she was before. So that's why I said, is she playing or not? Like, is that a game she plays when she's sitting with somebody she's not really interested in, but she doesn't want to chase anybody away. So she's over here, acting dingy. And then when she finds somebody she likes, I don't know, Coley. I think he likes what he sees. And that's it. I didn't really see a connection. Deanna and Frisco, on the other hand, did have some type of chemistry. Francisco, whatever his name is. Fresco. He gonna be what I call him. And that's the, all in respect. I'll do my best, but listen, it's Deanna. Deanna and Francisco, they over here having a little conversation about how much they like to work out with each other, and not with each other, but they're both into working out. And that's a good thing because this man works out health. He wants to be healthy. Does she have children? I can't remember if she said she had any kids. I think she has kids. Hmm. Well, he said he loves children. I'm just thinking like this might be a match, They look good together. I'm not going to penalize him for taking his shirt off. I mean, a lot of the ladies liked it, so that works, I suppose. But I cannot like take somebody seriously that shows up at a mixer and then, immediately gets undressed 3, 4, or 5 times. I didn't say he looked bad. I just said that was corny. When she said she was a firefighter, he neither fell off that chair. That Deanna is not playing around over here. She came not to play games. She's over here trying to see what's really good. I like it. Hmm. Now that I think about it, Deanna wasn't invited to any of the group dates. Why is that? Why was she? Neither was Francisco. They just left them off the group dates, and hmm, that's interesting. Because everybody on the cast went on a group date except for Francisco and Deanna. Hmm. We'll see. We'll see what that's all about. Rocky asked Eddie if he's an F boy, and I was like, hey, what did he do that make you think that? I don't know. I don't think, I don't know what her assessment is of him, but I don't know that any of these guys could be F boys. I don't know why it's him that she's honed in on so much. Meanwhile, she grinning up in Fritz's face. We'll get to that. What's his name? Francisco is over here playing the I saw you, but I didn't speak to you game with Tay. Now I feel like that's fuckboy behavior. Sorry, F boy. But you know what I mean. I feel like that's like, don't come in the room and see me and then act like you don't see me. My man did not do that. He did not pretend not to see me. He wanted me to be very clear that he was there in the room and that he saw me. I feel like if you're pursuing someone, that's what you should be doing. But you calling Eddie an F boy. I'm assuming he spoke to everyone that he found interest in. Who is it? Tay and Rose. Tay and Rose sit down with Naeem, and he makes sure to get it off his chest and out in the open, straight out the gate. I better go tell these people about my 5 kids and my 3 baby mamas and my partridge in the pear tree in case they ask me if I have any kids. Let's get that out of the way. Let them digest that right quick. Tay asked him if he married anyone ever, like possibly one of the mothers of his children, and he's like, no. But I am a sucker for love. And I tell you, I might just fall in love. I don't believe there's any like time constraints that needs to be put on love. I might meet you and then 3 weeks later, I want to be married to you. Naeem, you're a sucker. I don't know if you're a sucker for love, but you were sucking on something. And maybe that's why you're over there with all those children with 3 different women. Naeem. They think he's cute, but I mean, cute only gets you so far. And them corny lines that he be serving up, I feel like how much of that can you take? Like at what point they saying everybody else's surface, but I haven't seen him do anything so deep. Shanice asked Cameron why he decided to become a firefighter, and he said it aligns with his morals and that there's no greater thing that you can do for another human is to help them, especially when they're in need. And I said he has definitely thought out very clearly his career path. And so I think that's a beautiful thing. I just think he has not thought out as clearly his path to a relationship in his home life. He isn't like really trying to necessarily get married. He's just looking for somebody that, I don't know. He said he's down for whatever. And that is not narrow enough a box for me to think that it makes you ready for love. And I think I feel like it's okay not to be ready for love if you're still in a phase in your life where you're trying to discover what that even looks like, what you want. Because I feel like in my 30s, that's what I was doing, where I was like, I mean, I guess I never really thought about it before then. You be out having a good time and enjoying your life. And then, in order to be in something successful, you really have to contemplate like what it is that it's going to take to be in a partnership with somebody. He's not thought none of that out. He's down for whatever. Nobody going for that. Shanice says she's very grown and she's very looking for a husband, so he can very just walk himself over somewhere else. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day. Hassan and Sahara sit down. Sahara's definitely feeling this man, but she does that wiggle dance thing with everybody, so it's hard to tell what she feel like. She said he's cute. I didn't hear her tell him. Um, so she's smarter than some people over here, I would like to point out. I feel like Hassan is very smooth. He's 6'7" in chocolate, and they keep on telling him that. So, he has a way with the ladies, this Hassan does, all quiet and everything. They keep calling Cameron quiet. This one is quiet, but while he's talking, he's saying something they like. That's the difference. He's not just down for whatever. He got an answer to questions. What's this girl, Rocky? He could very well be an F-boy. I'm just saying. He did say he enjoyed, the conversation with her. He said she's funny. I believe that. And he said she's real. And I think that's what we like about her too. For those of us that like her, I mean, I know I do. I know she's like super quirky and sitting there, a whole problem with those ponytails and powder and poof pom-pom things in her hair. But, no, I just have to see more. That's probably the same thing that get niggas in trouble. You keep saying you need to see more. She's over there with potions and things, and the next thing you know, Angie and Cameron have a little conversation, and I wish Angie would just shut her mouth and let these men compliment her, or ask them out. She ain't giving him a chance to do nothing. When she sat down with Wayne before he could sit down good, she was telling him, "Oh, you're my type. I'm attracted to you." Now she's sitting over here pressuring Cameron to ask her out on a date. Do I have to make that decision right now? I just met you, lady. This will be another person who you've given your number to who don't want to call you. Just relax. She out here snatching bouquets and applying pressure and making these men uncomfortable. Wayne and Rose have a little conversation, and she asks Wayne about marriage, and he says that in this country there's kind of a negative connotation attached to marriage. So it's not the thing that he's rushing in to do. He wants to take very, very baby steps. And we know this young lady Rose over here, it's her life's mission to become a wife. So we won't be wasting any time over here with Wayne. You go ahead and give him your best advice. Young man, the best thing I can tell you is don't let the views of the world stop you from finding love. And on that note, I'm out of here. Leave his ass sitting there. He's full of shit. He's super fuckboy. I'm sorry. He's just out here playing games. I told y'all he was an anime. He out here collecting numbers like, like he gathering points. Cameron and Deanna have a little conversation, and Cam looks at her and says out of his mouth, "So are you sure you haven't seen me before?" Why would she remember you? They said you're quiet and don't me talking about nothing. No, young buck, I'm too busy over here teaching at the academy. And I really don't date short guys. Damn, girl. I mean, that's all she had to say about that. He said he wasn't like, she didn't have to be rude. And if she's just making excuses to not date people on the job. And I'm like, I don't think that's it. No, I think she don't. I think she's a woman firefighter. I think there's probably very few of them, and she don't want her name out in these streets of Philly. As none of y'all can, be down to the bar every weekend talking about how you knocked down Deanna. That ain't what it's gonna be. So no, get to stepping. She said you shy and quiet and not confident enough for her anyway, and I feel like she's right. I don't know why you walked over there. I guess just to say hi. So it's time for these group dates, and True said Tommy let her set up a date. So there she picked skating. That's a fun date, I think. It's True and Naeem. Who else? Husan, Sharice, John Jay, and Kira. So True and Naeem get there first, and True, much like Angie, is calling this man out for not calling her. Apparently, True was holding out on the blue bubbles, and it got this nigga Naeem all in his feelings. I've never heard of anything like this. She gave him, I guess, the Google Dot number. He doesn't appreciate that. He thinks she's being all cautious. And I'm like, what is the problem with this lady being cautious about who she's giving her number to? I also wonder, like, girl, what kind of experience have you had that you got a Google number? I mean, I guess people do that. I don't be giving my number out to anybody anymore. So leave me out the loop, child. I mean, do guys be doing that? Be out here worried about bubbles and things and what color the bubble is? You worry about bubbles and eyelashes and pedicures, and you need to be worried about them siblings that you got over there in multiple households, child. I guess it just irritates me a little bit that Haseen takes it, not Haseen, Naeem. Naeem is in every scene, trying to make sure he discusses these five children. Like he drops them out there, like, I've got five kids and three baby mamas, and, let me get that out the way. But he doesn't talk about his children in a way that makes him feel like fatherly. It just makes him feel like he's careless with his sperm. True has a little sit down with her son. Now she's got to figure out a whole other plan because this guy, Naeem, was supposed to be her plan. And I'm supposed to believe that. Anyway, she's decided that she's going to sit down and immediately tell her son how she loves chocolate men with beards. And he's just gorgeous and beautiful. I didn't hear him say that to her. Can you and Angie, for goodness sakes, y'all don't know what the man gonna say. You sitting down telling him, let him tell you you're pretty first. Now when he says it, he's kind of like, well, I mean, you're pretty too. Thanks. Shanice sits down wasting her time with Naeem. And she asks him, what does happiness mean for you? I like her questions. She asks questions that get you information, you know what I'm saying? That says a lot about the person, not just like what color do you like or what's your favorite food. Naeem says his happiness is doing things that are fulfilling for him and nobody else. He said he was out here putting himself on the back burner and being a people pleaser and trying to fit in. What did you put on the back burner? Like, did you like, I couldn't go to school because I had to stay here and take care of these kids and, or I don't know, what were you doing to people please? We didn't, get any examples of any of these things. He just says things without any type of explanation. I don't know where he was trying to fit in, but I know he fit in a few places without any protection. I don't know if that's the outlook you should have necessarily. Naeem, this is going to get hard. Naeem, I mean, I feel like, Naeem, you have every right to fulfill your own happiness. Got it. But I feel like also if you're going into a partnership, kind of thinking of yourself only, it was the and nobody else part that I was like, well, I mean, then you should be by your damn self if you're the only person's happiness that you're considering. But it seems like also that's a selfish attitude to have when you have five other little feelings that you need to consider if that's what you're out here doing. Are you out here just talking, like, announcing them in case they get found out about? Or are you actually actively, being considerate of their feelings and of the mama's feelings? I feel like that's important. You need healthy relationships. I don't know which one of these mamas that you consider problematic, the one that probably stays on your ass. That's the one you don't like. Shanice says, you know how I learned how to say no? I learned how to say no from Oprah. She said it was a whole sentence, and that was, it for me. And I'm hoping that that was what she was trying to, subliminally tell this man to know. It's going to be a no. Oprah told me no. That's how I feel. It's just no. Thank you. John Jay and Kira feel like they're on a date. They don't feel like they're out here with any other singles. They just came skating together tonight. She asked him his love language. He has an answer. I can appreciate someone who actually, that's a really important, those are really important questions to be able to answer about yourself and about your partner if you're going to be in a relationship. And if your partner don't know him, you should tell him. Make sure y'all have this type of understanding. I think it's really important. So I like that, he didn't need no classes. He already knows about that. He said his love language is physical touch and that she needed to scoot her fine self back over there a little closer to him. And he said, she put her feet up there and she was like, I'll get this close. And if you decide you want to rub my foot, you can go ahead and do that. And he touched her foot. He didn't rub it though. I don't think she's earned that yet. Relax, girl. Look, Kierna is a princess. She's made that clear. And I don't think she means I'm a spoiled princess. I don't know, maybe she does, but I think she wants to be taken care of in a way. Not just financially. I'm talking about she wants to be treated a certain type of way. And John Jay seems to be perfectly willing to do it. He likes her. He's not afraid to say that. These two are a couple. And these other ladies better be very careful and tread lightly because she's already picked her man, her man, her man. Seems like he's picked her too. So, we'll see. It's early on, but they definitely like each other. Angie, Coley, Wayne, and Eddie have a little meetup for some French fries and hamburgers in a basket. While the ladies are sitting there, Angie right away starts complaining about how Wayne hasn't called her. And Coley was like, oh, you know what? I think he gave me his number too, but I forgot because he didn't use it. Eventually, the guys show up, and Angie starts sharing a story about how she was previously married to somebody who was financially abusive. Now, this girl got a story for every relationship, a toxic one. So, whew. And I'm like, girl, then maybe you should slow down. Coley was over there saying, yeah, me too, the same. So was she married too? I mean, she said the same, so we haven't heard that story, but she did say she was in the same situation. That they were over here being financially dependent to someone that was not nice to them. And they had to ask permission or couldn't go anywhere. Like this sounds really like, on another level. Very heavy. I find it odd that someone who rushes in so quickly, you snatching bouquets and telling them you better call me or I'm going to kick your ass. She's threatened a few times, I feel like. We just got here. It was just at episode 3. I believe it was Coley that asked Eddie what type of woman he was looking for, and he said he's looking for a partner in crime. Say me more, Eddie. What do you mean partner in crime? To do what? Somebody hang out with, like, explain. These like very brief, weird ass, vague answers for things. He says someone who's understanding because he works a lot. This is why the girl said you were F-boy, Eddie. So understanding as what? So just you need your wife to understand that, sometimes these work days will get to me. And I'm not sure what it is that you're expecting to have her do when that's the case. Have your, bath drawn, or what does that mean? And understand that, you work a lot. Does that mean you won't be coming home at a reasonable time, like Eddie? Nobody want to ask any more questions? This is why we need one-on-ones, because I would have some different questions. He wouldn't have just laughed his good hair self out of that particular question. But we're also here in front of this lady, Angie, who got dumped by the man who's sitting next to me. So I'll just, fall back just a little bit. Eddie, do you like a woman who's financially independent? Because these ladies were just over here discussing how they were dependent on somebody financially. How does that play out when you have these, I don't know what you would call it. I mean, it definitely, I don't want to say wounded, but I don't know. We'll see, Eddie. We'll see. Much like Naeem over here, cuteness is only going to take you so far. Wayne deflected his question to his journal. So now they're like, oh, you have a journal? That's so therapeutic. It is, but it ain't got nothing to do with what I said. I said, we're talking about what type of partner are you looking for? He's, of course, like leans into how he admires the brother and the family life that his brother is creating, and he's proud of him for, doing the daggone thing. Only to switch that story. Are you traumatized by the negative connotation or not, Wayne? And you definitely didn't answer the question. I don't like these deflecting, that's very crafty. And if you deflect or you're some going on there, or you don't know, and you're here and ready to love, the description's in the title. While he's talking about his brother and, the admiration for his family, Cully starts crying because her brother, it's his birthday, he passed away. I think that's horrible. I've lost both of my siblings. However, leaving the house on their birthday, if I'm emotional, I'm probably not going to find myself in a situation around people because anything can trigger you. So, I feel like it was a little bit performative. I could be wrong, but for me, it was like, girl, the party breaks up, and Angie calls Wayne to the side because she needs to chastise him again because he didn't text her or call her. And Wayne said he's flattered that, she's liked him and everything, but she don't need to keep pressing him. That part he don't like. Where you keep on saying it, keep on saying it. Girl, he gave you the walking papers back at the comedy club, but you want to still be like, if this man is not pursuing and this is such a quick process, you need to like put your energy somewhere else. But relax at the same dang time because you be pressing a little too hard. He told her he would follow through, and she was, pretty much better, like you better, or I'll kick your ass. And I was like, what? And now we have a date with the second half of the group, except for Francisco and Dion. You got Rocky, Fritz, Rose, Tay, Cameron, and Khalil. Tay and Khalil have a connection, and they're very cute together. So I'm glad that Khalil had an opportunity to have a conversation, you know, um, with other women because it seemed like he, spent too much time with Rocky and then didn't get a chance to like really lean into it. But I feel like also this is a little more intimate. They have a little bit more time. It's difficult, I'm sure, in a mixer to be bouncing from person to person, like, hey, how you doing? These are my qualities and da da da. So yeah, so they had a conversation, a good conversation about communication. And Tay was saying, like, when things get heated, she understands that she might need to walk away and process for a few minutes, and think about what the other person said. That's important. That's important to know. That way, like when you're in a relationship and you're having a disagreement, your person, if they need to walk away, you need to let that happen. Not be walking behind, pressing until, the argument escalates into the next level. So I would like to see more of this. I know she was feeling Francisco, but I think she's much better with I mean, I don't know, we don't know, but for what I can see right now, I like I like the way this conversation went. I'll give it that. Rocky and Fritz had another good connection. They bonded on him being a mama's boy and her being a daddy's girl. There's definitely a negative connotation attached to being more so a mama's boy than a daddy's girl. I feel like if they, if you love your mama, and we said this about Wayne, if you love your mother, that's a great thing. But mama's boys can be problematic. So I don't know. They seem to think it's some type of yin and yang, so we'll see how that works for them. They, definitely, Rocky has a great personality, clearly, because she has a great connection with all the guys that she talks to. Not so much Eddie. She shut Eddie down right from the gate. So, there's no need there to keep going. Did she experience Francisco with his shirt off? I don't know if she did, but I didn't hear her say anything about that either. What's his man over here? Fritz. Fritz says his birthday is coming up and he's trying to send her his location. To do what, Fritz? Because we know you said you wasn't out here trying to smash nobody straight out the gate. So you want to send her your location? She said she might slide through. He said she's scared. She said, am I? And I was like, see, Angie, true, ladies, this is how this is done. You don't really have to give him that much. She said she come through if she come through. She may or may not be scared, but she's not over here begging this man to text her. And I bet you he will. Tay and Cameron sit down. Cameron said he had to fight to get to Tay because she's very popular. And I'm like, I don't know what you're fighting for because you don't know what you want once you get over there, besides how to put out a fire. All of the ladies are describing him as quiet, and I think he leads very heavy on I'm a fireman, and he ain't bringing nothing else to the table, even though he says, that's not what he wants. I think he thinks that's enough. You can't show up talking about I'm a fireman and I'm down for whatever. Okay. So it's the first time down to the ladies' lounge, and this time Tommy brings a whole vault. And we know that what goes on in the ladies' lounge is supposed to stay in the ladies' lounge. But I feel like even the vault is not going to keep those secrets. Let's get into these looks. Down at the ladies' lounge, top of the list, Shanice. Shanice looks amazing in a very light minty, like tealish color fitted dress with the little pink lace around the neckline. I don't know if it was a pretty dress, but I don't know if it was, the dress or the person wearing it, but it was fire. Shanice is very well put together, so, she's at the top of the ladies' lounge list. That's gonna be hard to keep saying it. I'm just not gonna. Sharice is at the top. Next, Rose. Rose has on a pretty pink fitted dress also. The both of them have a really nice figure, and I'm sure that plays into why they look so good, but they know how to just put things together in a very fashionable way. Rose is sitting up there with a clean face. She's relying all on her natural glow. So when you get together with Rose, you don't have to worry about her eyelashes and things because it seems like all of the things that she is bringing to the table, she was born with. She changes her hair, but she even show you like her natural hair, in the confessional. Very pretty lady. Next, Tay. Tay had on a cute little romper. Had a few embellishments, diamond embellishments on it. So it was simple, but classy, very cute. Sahara was another one. She had on a pretty green fitted dress. She got a good figure. So, I mean, when you got a good figure, a fitted little number is, always a go-to, but she looked very nice, Sahara. Because the way she came through if she would have wore that the first time, she might have not been on the bottom. I'm just saying. Kiara, what did Kiara have on? She had on the rust colored jumper. It wasn't a spectacular, but she looked nice. Deanna had on a hot pink jumpsuit. Deanna, the color was really nice. I liked the bottom. She got big boobs and big shoulders. So it's, sometimes some of the things like the way she wears things on her top half, I feel like it's going to be her most challenging. And if that was more of a halter top type thing, like, even with the um over exaggerate, even with the over exaggerated collar, I just think the thing that bothered me about it was like it just seems so tight in the sleeves and things. Angie had on a black jumpsuit. It was very basic, but she looked cute though. Coley, same thing. She just had on a tan dress, nothing spectacular. True, I don't even know what True had on, child. I know I didn't like it. What did she have on? I don't know. She just had on a plain tan church lady dress with pearls again. Rocky looked like she was about to run to the grocery store right quick in a little romper, in a summer romper and some flip-flops. I don't know if she had on flip-flops. I'm just saying. It's the ladies' lounge, Rocky. So Tommy wants to know who was their top and who was their bottom fella. Shanice said Hussam was her man. She said he made her feel like supported when they were skating. He wasn't about to wait for her to fall. He was going to catch her before she falls. And then she had this emotional moment where she talked about, not ever feeling supported and how important that is for her in a relationship. She said every time she has fallen all the way down to being homeless, she didn't have nobody there, to lean on. So, that's what her son made her feel like in that moment when they were skating. Rose said Fritz was her man. I didn't see this interaction, but that doesn't mean that there wasn't a good one. We just, we know whatever happened between Rose and Fritz put him on her top. Tay and Khalil, she said he was at her bottom, but now he's here at her top. And we love that. I know I do. I don't know what y'all thought. I'm gonna just speak for myself. For me, I'm here for it. Sahara says Hussam was at her top, but he spoke very highly of Sahara. So we'll see what's happening with that. Sahara's giving off a lot of sexual energy, I think. And the potion may be stronger than maybe she's used to. She's not used to using it to catch people. She's only used to using it to get rid of them. So, I don't know that she knows the power of her potion yet. So we'll be tweaking that from week to week as long as she's here. Kiara. Kiara is in a whole relationship with John Jay, so we know he's at her top. Deanna said Francisco was her top. She got Francisco on one day, Eddie on the other day. She's doing what she do. We'll see if anything real comes out of it. We know that they have a lot in common, but I don't have a lot of faith in Francisco. And I'm getting the feeling that Deanna is kind of a player out here too. So, maybe she met her match and these two, we'll see. Angie said Eddie is in her top. I think Angie is delusional, but I mean, she got to say somebody because Tommy's asking the question. Coley said Eddie is at her top. Okay, I don't think Eddie has made any decisions about anything. And it seems like Francisco is coming here and, stole his number one spot. True said whose son was her top. And I guess, girl. And like I said, he knows how to, be nice. I don't think that's it either. Not for you. I don't think that's the one for you, Husan. Rocky said Fritz is her top. And we'll see. We'll see, like, how this whole thing, week to week, who gets to hang on to, which partner. Shani's at her bottom is Cam. He not trying to get married, and she is. So there's that. Rose said Wayne is at her bottom for the same reason. Cam and Wayne are pretty similar to one another, to be honest. Tay said Cam is unserious and he be out here like talking about hanging out with his homeboys and things, and that wasn't enough, to spark her interest. Sahara said she forgot about Wayne. He was there one minute and then he was gone. But that seems like Sahara, that's what he does to all of them. He come get your number and disappear. Deanna said Cam, she don't date short firefighters. So there's that. Angie said Wayne, she's mad that she asked him 117 times to call her or text her. He did not. Carly said Wayne, because I mean, she, how dare he get her number and not use it? And I don't think she was interested in him anyway. She just, doing what she's supposed to do over here, especially after her first experience. True said Naeem is down at the bottom because this man is way too much focused on Bubbles and not on her. She said she texted the man hello and he sent her a thumbs up. Thumbs up. This is not even behavior, I don't think, from a grown man. If you're gonna be so mad about, I mean, are you like mad because when she texted you, the bubble was still green? And you're like, by now, like, if she likes me, then she'll give me a blue bubble. Nigga. Rocky said Eddie was at her bottom because he's F-boy. And Rocky, if that's how you feel, if that's what your gut is telling you, then you just leave it alone, girl. The two at the bottom, of course, were Cam and Wayne. Why? Because they're very unserious about this process, it seems. So Tay has to take out Cam and Deanna has to take out Wayne. Deanna tells Wayne that the ladies believe that he is not taking this process seriously. And he's like, Wayne said his logic doesn't even make sense. He says, I realize when I, take a lady's number that she's looking to hear from me. When you meet someone, you're looking to hear from them. But I get very busy and sometimes it'll be 6, 7 days have gone by and I haven't had time or thought about calling. And once I get to that point, now it feels like an obligation and I'm no longer excited. And I said, what? Wayne is full of shit. That's what he is. Tay tells Cams that the lady don't know who he is and that he needs to open up more. And Cam said it's probably anxiety. And, based on his job, he sees a lot of things and he has learned to mask his feelings and not to open up so much. And I'm like, that makes sense because I'm sure they do you have to not be emotional, I'm sure, based on the things that they see at work. At the end of the day, the ladies feel like Wayne is not taking the process seriously, so he is not ready to love. And Wayne said he wouldn't change a thing about what he did. He's not about to come up here and try to pursue some ladies that he is not at all interested in. He's not out here stroking nobody's ego, and he is not lobbying people for votes. So take your ass home, and that's what he's gonna have to do. Cameron lives to see another day. Hopefully he'll find some way to open up to these ladies. Next week, Naeem is still pressed about these blue bubbles and her Google Docs. Let it go. I don't know who else he's connected to, if he has any other connections over here, but bruh, you've got to be kidding me. What is it next week? Next week is episode 4. I prefer getting past these mixers and get into the more intimate dates so you can start to see who is liking who. Know what I mean? After the episodes on Friday, you can catch me over at Another Round with your girl Jay and your girl El Cid, and they, be killing me over there in the conversation. The link is in the bio if you want to get down in the chat and, be entertained by these lovely ladies and maybe, even me. Until then, y'all, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you when I see you.